to everyone. Today in this discussion, we are going to discuss on the poem Nammalwar has compared Lord Venkateswara's or Vishnu's face with honey. Here in this poem, I have given importance to Nammalwar, who has praised and compared Lord Venkateswara's face with honey. Specifically focus on his ecstatic description of Lord Sri Vishnu or Sri Venkateswara's divine face as sweeter than nectar and radiant like jewels. The poetic outpouring is not merely an artistic expression but a mystical revelation deeply rooted in Bhakti Yoga, that is, in path of devotion. Nammalwar, one of the 12 alvars, composed Tirumuchi, a collection of Tamil hymns praising Lord Sri Venkateswara or Vishnu. His words are expressing of mystical expressions where the divine vision transcends the physical and offers spiritual nectar to the devotee's soul. Now we will explore the 4 poetic lines and providing meanings, interpretations and Vedic and Puranic references to understand the spiritual significances of Nammalwar verses. 0. Nammalwar sang with voice so true, of face like nectar, of a heart so dew, Amudhin iniya mugam, kamazhum, he cried his cheeks like jewels, where the divine resides. The first line of this verse is Nammalwar sang with voice so true. Let us analyze this line of the verse. This opening line establishes the sincerity and spiritual purity of Nammalwar's devotion. The praise, voice so true, suggests that his hymns emerged from a place of deep authenticity, untainted by ego or material concern. His devotion was not merely an act of worship, but a heartfelt expression of union with the divine. Nammalwar's hymns, composed in the Tamil Prabandhams, are celebrated for their poetic beauty and spiritual depth. Now let us look into each aspect of Nammalwar's poem. Sincerity in Bhakt. Nammalwar's unwavering focus on the Lord reflects the ideal of Bhakti, that is, praparti of devotion. His true voice symbolizes the honesty and intensity of devotees' relationship with God, free from pretensions and superficiality. Timeless impact. Nammalwar's hymns continues to resonate with the devotees across centuries, showcasing the eternal relevance of genuine devotion, true voice in Bhakti. Bhakti is undulated love for God without ego. The sincerity in his voice shows the essence of Ananta Bhakti, that is, exclusive devotion. Now let us look into this aspect from spiritual reference, that is from Bhagavad Gita. One of the slokas from Bhagavad Gita mentions like this: Ananyan chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nitya biyukthanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. The meaning of this sloka is: those who always think of me with exclusive devotion and worship me constantly, I take care of their needs and ensure their welfare. The line of the poem is of a face like nectar, of a heart so new. Here, the Lord face is described as like nectar, drawing a parallel between the sweetness of nectar and the divine joy that emanates from his voice. Nectar or Amrita holds a significant place in Hindu thought as the elixir of immortality. The comparison emphasizes that beholding the Lord's face can grant spiritual immortality and liberation, that is moksha. Face like nectar. This suggests that Lord face provides not just a visual pleasure but also spiritual nourishment. Devotees who meditate on his face experience bliss and transcend worldly sorrows. The Lord's face is compared to nectar, that is Amrita, the divine elixir. The reference to a new heart reflects the eternal compassion and ever fresh divine love for the God. Heart so new, the phrase indicates the Lord's heart is eternally fresh unchanging and filled with boundless compassion. The newness reflects the rejuvenating and revitalizing His love has on devotees. Now let us look into the spiritual connection of this poem's face like nectar is referred in Rigveda as Madhuvata Bhutayate Madhusharanti Sindhavaha Madhurnyam Santoshadihi. The meaning of this sloka in English is: May the winds blow sweetly, may the rivers flow sweetly, and may the herbs bring sweetness and well-being to us. Symbolism of this line of the poem is: nectar here represents divine bliss, immortality, and liberation, that is moksha. Just as nectar heals and rejuvenates the body, the vision of Lord heals and nourishes the soul. Heart so new. The newness of Lord's heart reflects compassion and the ever-fresh divine presence that never diminishes. The Lord's grace is timeless and unfailing. The interpretation of this line of the poem is: face like nectar compares the divine beauty of Lord Vishnu to Amrita, that is nectar, signifying bliss, immortality, and divine grace. Heart is so new suggests the ever-fresh compassion of the Lord, eternal present and unchanging His love for devotees. Now let us look into the third line of this poem. Amudhin iniya mugam kamazhum, he cried. The meaning of this line is Amudam refers to the sweetness surpassing worldly experiences, denoting the joy desired from divine vision. Kamazham, that is fragrance, symbolizes the divine aura radiating from the Lord's presence, which is both physical and metaphysical. This Tamil phrase translates to the face sweeter than nectar exudes the divine fragrance, encapsulating Nammalwar's ecstatic vision of Lord Sri Venkateswara or Mahavishnu. The word kamazham, that is fragrance, symbolizes the divine aura and sanctity surrounding the Lord's face. Sweetness beyond comparison. By comparing the Lord's face to nectar, Nammalwar emphasizes that no earthly pleasure or treasure can match the joy derived from divine darshan, that is, vision of Lord Sri Venkateswara. Fragrance of divinity. The idea of fragrance transcends the physical and enters the metaphysical realm. The Lord's divine fragrance is not perceived by the sense alone, it is felt in the heart and soul, uplifting the devotee's spirit. Now let us look into the spiritual connection of this line with the Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, one of the sloka mentions like this: Tamalayam lalita patta payodharostam smitavalokakalaya niharorarvakanam krishnasya tadyadanam amburahvosnurapam bijrushna gatraya manohara madadhati. The meaning of this sloka in English is: the beauty of Krishna's face with his sweet lips resembling the hue of a lotus, and his gentle smile and playful glances captivates all beings. His face resembling a lotus surpasses the beauty of all three worlds and enhances the hearts of all. Now let us look into the fourth line of this poem. His cheeks like jewel where the divine resides. The imaginary of the Lord's cheeks as jewel highlights their radiant beauty and celestial nature. Jewels in their brilliance and rarity symbolize purity, value, and spiritual wealth. The phrase also implies that Lord's physical form is a manifestation of divine energy. The poetic description of Lord Venkateswara's as Vishnu's cheeks as jewels conveys profound spiritual meaning. The imaginary reflects the divine radiance, purity, and transcendental beauty of the Lord's form. Jewels, known for their brilliance, rarity, and value, are symbolic spiritual illumination, purity, and divine wealth. This expression emphasizes how every feature of Lord's divine form is a manifestation of spiritual energy, inspiring awe, reverence, and devotion among worshippers. Now, let us interpret the findings from this poem, line 4, with the spiritual connection. The symbolism of jewels can be connected with significant spiritual references emphasizing the divine radiance. In Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa Darshana, the sloka mentions like this: Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavedya Gapad Buddhita Yadi Baha Sadrusi Sa Swad Basas Tasya Mahatmanaha. The meaning of this English sloka is: if the splendor of 1,000 suns were to blaze forth all at once in the sky, it would resemble the effluence of that great being. By interpreting this sloka, we can able to understand that Lord Krishna divine form radiates with unmatched brilliance, symbolizing the supreme light of wisdom and cosmic energy, overwhelming the sense with divine magnificence. Lord Krishna's divine beauty is unparalleled, surpassing the sweetness and delight of the most precious experiences. His cheeks, like radiant jewels, reflect divine compassion and bliss. Now, let us look into the essence of the poem, that is, the core themes and insights of this poem which has been composed. Divine beauty and compassion. The poem emphasizes the Lord's divine beauty, which grants spiritual bliss. His compassion, like nectar, is both sweet and purifying. Bhakti as a path of liberation. Nammalwar's verse show that sincere devotion, Bhakti Yoga, can lead only directly to divine realization and liberation. The power of divine vision, that is darshan. Seeing the divine is not merely a physical but a spiritual communion where the soul is uplifted. Symbolism of nectar and jewels. Nectar symbolizes eternal bliss, while jewels represent divine brilliance and wisdom. From this poem, we are going to learn about the practical lessons for the devotees. They are: meditate on the Lord's form. Just as Nammalwar described the divine face, devotees can meditate on the divine form during prayer for inner peace. Sing the Lord's glories. Chanting and singing divine hymns like Nammalwar helps purify the hearts and attract to divine grace. Simplicity and sincerity in worship. Pure devotion from the heart is valued over elaborate rituals without faith. This is very important. Simplicity and sincerity in worship. Pure devotion from the heart is valued over elaborate rituals without faith. See, many of our devotees spending huge amount of money for elaborate rituals in performing the pujas. There is no need to perform elaborate rituals. If we have a pure devotion, that is enough to reach the Lord's hearts and get the Ashirvadas of God. Recognizing divine compassion. Lord's compassion is endless, like the ever fresh heart described in the poem. Before concluding, let us briefly analyze what we have discussed so far. The verse is beautifully encapsulating Nammalwar's ecstatic devotion to Lord Vishnu. It portrays the Lord's face as a source of divine nectar, radiating beauty, compassion, and bliss for devotees. It serves as a reminder that true fulfillment lies in the seeking the Lord's presence and mediating Lord Venkateswara's form. Though this poetic expression, Nammalwar invites us to experience the transcendental joy of divine love, urging us to turn our gaze towards the eternal and embrace the Lord's grace. The comparison to nectar and jewels not only emphasizes the Lord's divine attributes but also inspires us to cultivate the sweetness of devotion and the brilliance of spiritual wisdom in our lives. Thank you very much for your kind hearing. You have enjoyed this discussion on Nammalwar's description of Lord Sri Venkateswara's face. By praying Lord Sri Venkateswara's face, a devotee gets blessings. Please forward it to your friends, relatives, and group people to know more about the mystical powers and sacredness of Lord Sri Venkateswara and Tirumala Hills. Hope we will meet you in the next discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you.